time to wake up, Warriors.
Today marks the 61st anniversary of one of America's most infamous historical moments. Stay tuned to find out more.
Staying safe on the roads takes one simple step, but still many overlook it. Stay tuned to find out how it can make all the difference.
All this and more on today's episode of Wake Up Warriors.
Live from Penn Trafford High School, this is Wake Up Warriors. Wake Up Warriors starts now.
Hello, Penn Trafford, and welcome to this morning's exciting edition of Wake Up Warriors. Today is Friday, November 22nd. I'm Bryn Urban.
And I'm Delaney Price.
November 22nd isn't just another day closer to Thanksgiving. Today marks a historical event in American history, the assassination of America's 35th president, John F. Kennedy. We spoke with the history teacher, Mr. Bujakowski, and forensics teacher, Mr. Rocco, to get some insight on this monumental impacts of his assassination.
I like to call him the modern-day president, and I think he's really important to our history. Unfortunately, he was assassinated, and it's one of the more heavy conspiracy things that we like to talk about in class, but also it's very important to understand why it happened and whenever the whole world found out that President Kennedy passed away.
Now, as far as its historical impact, you're talking about one of the seminal moments in the history of this country. You know, if you look at the assassination of President Kennedy, you look at Pearl Harbor, 9/11. I mean, it's up there in important moments. In this case, when he was, brutally murdered in broad daylight in front of the entire nation, I think it's important. I think it's important to find out what happened.
So on November 22nd, President Kennedy is going to Dallas, Texas, and President Kennedy wanted to take the motorcade roof off. So him, Mrs. Kennedy, and a couple other leaders of the government in Dallas are going to sit in the presidential motorcade and kind of wave and enjoy the parade. As we know, Lee Harvey Oswald is going to take those deadly shots and unfortunately kill President Kennedy. And if you look at it now compared to what was happening in 1960, you'll never see the president in an open car like that ever again. That kind of changed the way Secret Service is going to handle things. And President Kennedy is then rushed to Parkland Memorial Hospital, and he is shortly pronounced dead at the Parkland Memorial Hospital.
In Forensics 1, we go into a long unit on the science of the assassination. Now, when it's all said and done, what we do is we actually give Lee Harvey Oswald his day in court, and we put him on trial in a mock trial, which has become sort of one of the favorites of our students in our class.
This has been Brooklyn Usmiller reporting for PTTV.
Every day, seatbelts save lives, protecting drivers and passengers from serious harm. Still, not everyone chooses to wear them. Let's explore why seatbelt safety is critical and how we can explore everyone to buckle up.
I spoke with teachers about seatbelt safety. Here's what they had to say.
All right, seatbelt usage is super important. There's a reason that if there's a law that requires you to wear your seatbelt, if you think about whenever you slam your brakes on your car, the momentum of your body and your neck and everything like that's going to go forward. So when you're in the middle of an impact, that seatbelt will, cross your body for a reason. Whenever you press the brakes on your pedal, it locks the seatbelt into wherever it's at on your body so that you don't get whiplash. There's also a reason why you have a headrest behind you as well. These things definitely save lives.
I think we have had students in the past, even one last year, that a seatbelt saved their life.
This is something that is non-negotiable whenever you get behind the wheel, though, right? You wear your seatbelt no matter where you are. If you're in the passenger seat or in the back seat, it's just as important as if you were driving the car.
Then I asked what our school does to encourage seatbelt usage.
Well, I think with like driver's theory and driver's ed, it's really something we should hit on, and even just talk to your teachers. Talk to somebody like Mr. Zimmer. Yeah. He knows.
Yeah.
A lot of experience behind the wheel here.
And maybe showing like videos of consequences if you don't, maybe that would have an impact.
This literally could save your life or someone else's life one day. And I'm willing to bet that it will. And I hope you're never in that situation. But, when you get in your car, sometimes just say thank you to that little seatbelt for doing its job.
This has been Connor Schmidt reporting for PET TV.
The fall play, The Island of Dr. Libris, opens tonight. Come support your peers and the talented cast and crew of the Penn Trafford's Drama Guild's fall play this weekend.
A lot of work goes into making the fall play a success, and that includes the incredible effort of the moms who dedicate their time and energy to design and create the amazing costumes you see on stage.
So once we find out what the show is, we typically get a script. We read through the script and kind of get a general idea of what we might want to do for costumes. We get a lot of creative direction from the director of the show, and they really help us put things together. We have a ton of costumes and outfits, a lot of clothes from different time frames and shows. So it's kind of a seek and find in here whenever we find out what the show is, because we repurpose a lot of costumes.
When the curtain rises, it's easy to focus on the actors, but the stage crew is the real magic behind the scenes. From the riggers to the sound techs, prop crews, and the stagehands, they make sure every element comes together seamlessly. Here's stage manager Zach Conti to share more about this.
I'm one of the stage managers for the fall play this year. I work backstage, moving sets, making sure the actors are ready for all their scenes, having all their props set, make sure the actors have their mics on. We set it up for them properly, have a mic check right before our show starts. We have 2 people back at light and sound board, running all our light cues back there and setting all the sound effects we need. And we also have someone up in our loft who pulls in for this show a rocket ship for the Space Lizard to capture Walter. Our shows are going to be tonight at 7, tomorrow at 7, and then Sunday at 3 o'clock.
With the Drama Guild's production of the Island of Dr. Libris, the cast and crew have been preparing for the show. Here's more on this past Tech Week.
Tech Week is more for all the technical stuff rather than the actors. For miking, you have to make sure that everything is set in place correctly or the wires can get messed up, and you have to make sure it's taped on the face and neck correctly. So makeup needs to be seen from off the stage, so you want it to be a lot. It will look like a lot close up, but from far away it'll look good. I think the show is going to go really well. I think we've grown a lot from the first rehearsal until now, and I'm really excited for the show.
Tell me, good sir, what brings thee to this? The secret pie.
Mrs. Thornton's English 12 classes are holding a mock trial based on the book In Cold Blood to try and determine whether or not their main suspects are guilty of their crimes.
Do you promise the testimony you should give in this case before this court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
So as a culmination to reading the book In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, my students participate in a mock trial, and their goal is to convince a jury of their peers that the defendants who are responsible for the murder of an entire family in 1959 do or do not deserve a death sentence.
The defendant has been charged with 4 counts of murder in the first degree, and the prosecution is seeking the death penalty.
The reason why they do this is because Truman Capote has a way of making readers feel sympathy for the murderers by the time they finish reading the book. So it's just an interesting way for them to think critically about what they're reading and kind of change the perspective of their peers as well.
Mrs. Martini's English 10 classes have just completed their newspaper projects, reporting on the To Kill a Mockingbird trial.
My honors 10th grade English students just turned in their newspaper projects. We read the trial scenes where we get the testimonies of all of the characters, and then it leaves off on kind of a cliffhanger. We don't have a verdict. So their assignment is to design a front page of a newspaper where they have to summarize the trial as if someone was not present for the trial. They have to remain completely neutral, remove all bias, and just give factual information of what went down when they were in the trial.
Who wants donuts for breakfast? I sure do. Your homeroom can win donuts if you are the homeroom that collects the most socks. NHS and Sarah's Homeless Foundation are teaming up to host a school-wide sock drive competition. Starting Monday, November 25th, rally your homeroom to bring in new socks. Competition ends December 5th. Support a great cause and feed the gang.
Do you want to earn a Chick-fil-A gift card? It's as easy as donating 5 gently used books, starting now through December 11th. You can donate any books to Mrs. Falk's room, 145, in exchange for a Chick-fil-A gift card. Your donated books will help nearby struggling libraries. You may donate up to 10 books to earn a maximum of 2 Chick-fil-A gift cards.
Last night in sports, the boys hockey team was on the road to the Alpha Ice competition to face off against the Fox Chapel Foxes. The Warriors fell short 4-1. And that concludes today's broadcast of Wake Up Warriors. Please stand for the pledge of the flag. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Bryn Urban
and Delaney Price.
Have a great day, PT.